Hi, and welcome to Talks with Shay. So, today I would like to begin with reading from Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 24. And it says, "But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward." So today for part 2 of Take a Drive, I would like to talk to you about reverse. So when I'm talking about reverse, I'm talking about once you got in that car and you got to back it up. One of the things that we have to look at in order to back up is our rear view mirror at the front of us, right? And that's to see everything that's behind us. Or nowadays they got the little cameras, right? But we got to look at the camera to make sure everything behind us is clear before we can actually go. When I think about just life in general and the things that we go through in our lives, so many times we're always looking at what happened behind us instead of focusing on those things in front of us. Just like the scripture said, what's in back of us is in back of us, but they didn't want to go forward. And that's what we need to recognize today. Where are we? Are we constantly looking in reverse about things that happened yesterday and the day before? Or are we stuck in that park, which we talked about last week? If you're at that place where you're always focusing on what happened in the past, how do you expect to get on to the future? We can't live in the past. I think of just different events in my life and decisions that I've made that were wrong. But the reality is you can't undo those wrong mistakes. We can't go back and, regret them. We live sometimes with regret of them, but in reality, why? Why regret the mistakes that you've made? You've learned from them or should have. But when I think about just the wrong decisions that I've made, I'm thankful for them because they made me who I am today. I'm not trying to look in the rearview mirror or put my shift in R and stay there. None of us drive our car with it just always in reverse, right? Eventually you have to go forward. So if you find yourself always focusing on what happened yesterday, what happened in the past, my encouragement to you today is that you would change that thought process and focus on where you are today and where you're heading for tomorrow. Now, of course, we plan things and then God plans things, right? Our plans are plan A, and then sometimes God has a plan B or vice versa, however you want to say it, which his plan should be the first plan. But a lot of times we always say, we put our goals and say, God, this is what I would like to do, this, or that. So that's what you would like to do. But when you consult with God, God said, nah, I got some other plans for you. So it's up to us to allow God plans to work in our lives. We can't keep living in the past and in yesterday and expect to build a brighter future. None of us want to be stuck in the past. So let the past be just what it is, the past. Stop living in reverse and thinking that you can go back and change the decisions you've made, because you can't. It's impossible for you to change any of those things. But the most important thing is that you learn from those mistakes. We can't go back. We have to go forward. Don't live in the past. Stop driving in reverse, because guess what? Eventually, when I think about it like this, like sometimes, for example, I'm getting out of my subdivision or whatever, and there's been a couple of times like I'm like, oh, I forgot something. So I put my car in reverse and I drive all the way back home, and I have to turn the curve, and I'm in the second house. And so I'm all in reverse. It's like sometimes if you go too fast, the car starts going like this, and it's like, whoa. So you got to hold on. So it's a lot more, how would I say that? It's a lot more dangerous to drive in reverse for long periods of time. And if you're going too fast, reverse get out of control. I know for me speaking, if I'm going too fast in reverse, it's like the car just want to do whatever it want to do. That is not how we want our lives to be. We don't want our lives to just be going all sideways and all over the place because we're going too fast in reverse. Reverse is supposed to be a very short, temporary time frame that you're driving in reverse. And that's it. You know, when you look at things that happened to you in the past, now those things that you have overcome has now became your testimony, and let it be that. But you can't get to that testimony from that test that God took you through until you get that victory. So stop living in reverse and driving too fast for too long in reverse, looking up here at your rearview mirror and realize, God, it's time for me to move forward. Accept the mistakes that you've made. Forgive yourself for making those wrong decisions and realize moving forward, I'm going to do better because I've been driving in reverse for too long and too fast. Slow down in reverse, reevaluate some things and say, you know what? I did things like this for this long, but I'm not going to do it like this any longer. Change your mindset, change your perspective, and stop living in yesterday. Because yesterday can't do nothing for you but tell you goodbye. So tell it goodbye, peace, I'm out. I'm not living in the past. If I'm going to talk about things that happened in the past, it's going to include the victory where I am today from that. Don't hold yourself, beat yourself over the head, thinking about everything that you did wrong. It is what it is. Let it become a strength to you and stop living in reverse and move forward because God never intended you to stay there. Reverse is temporary for a short period of time. Don't get stuck there and realize that you're going too far down the road in reverse because there's nothing good that can come out of that. That's why we drive our cars moving forward and not in reverse, because it's not safe. Just like in life in general, living in reverse and yesterday's events, I would say, is not safe for you or for anybody else. It's just not healthy. So stop living there and realize that you have a bright future ahead of you. Believe that. Believe in yourself. Thank God for the things that He's allowed to happen. Learn from those mistakes and move forward. Get out of reverse. Some of y'all been in reverse a little too long, going a little too fast. So use it as what it is, a temporary state, and be finished with it. Okay. So before I go, I just want to remind you, if you haven't already, check out my website at www.talkswithshay.org. You can subscribe to my videos on YouTube and find me on Facebook. Like my page, share my page. Invite your friends to like my page. And until next time with Talks with Shay, Shay is out. Y'all be blessed.